Hey everybody, welcome to a special episode of Street Fight Radio. It's just me, sitting here in the chair. I've got an extra bonus show for you this week. Thank you for everybody watching on the live stream. I'd love to make more things like this happen. You know, we've got plenty of plans for the future. But this is a middle of the day live stream. I was doing a podcast like exactly 12 hours ago, so I never stopped casting. Today we got a special episode. It's an interview. It's a full breakdown of what happened with Jake, our audio engineer. He's been working for us for a while now. He's also the famous cousin that messed up the recording of our first show. For those of you that
True story.
For those of you that have listened long enough. But he also caught a case last year over a Facebook post and was in a lot of serious trouble. Had to go to court, went through hell. I was there to witness it firsthand, and is now bounced back and has released an album under his performing name, Icee Jake, the coldest MC. That's I added that. Icee Jake, Terrorist Threats is the name of the new album. You can find it on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, all of your streaming platforms. It's also available for purchase, but we'll wait until the end to get all the info in there. Thank you for being here, and how's it going, Jake?
Going good. How you doing, sir?
Doing fine.
Yeah,
How you feel?
Tired, kinda.
Yeah.
Little cold, but for the most part, doing good.
Good. Glad to hear. So, let's get into, I guess, what brought this all about. And for some people that don't know, people that are new, what exactly happened last year with the Facebook post?
So, it was September 15th. Basically, I was at work, and my job that I was working at the time, and then I had been working for a while, is like I work with at-risk kids and stuff like that. And the place that I was working at was a group home, and basically at the group home, all I do is I would kind of chill, hang out with the kids. I would take them to the appointments if they had anything that they needed to go to, any doctor's appointments, any school stuff. And then basically at this time, we were all just kind of hanging out in the house. You know what I mean? It was downtime, and we didn't really get lunch breaks, which is I'm pretty sure illegal, but that's besides the point.
They just let you eat at your desk?
Yeah, just at desk. Yeah, it was just kind of eat wherever you could, whenever you had a chance. And so I was taking my little break, and I was on my phone. I was just on Facebook, and I seen a article. And in the article, it was talking about a 11-year-old girl who had got tased by a security guard who was an off-duty police officer at I forget, I think it was a Target. I forget exactly what it was. It was some shopping center, and for shoplifting. You know what I mean? She was 11 years old, and she got tased by the police for shoplifting and everything, right? And it got some news coverage, not like a whole lot, but not as much as I felt like it should have gotten. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
so one of an Ohio representative, what's his name? John Becker?
Yeah.
He used that as he did see this situation and decided to chime in with his opinion.
Yeah. He basically, and you can look it up online right now. It still says the same stuff if you just look it up. If you just type in his name and tased, 11-year-old piece of shit. No, that's probably not pop up. But anyways,
yeah.
Like basically, he was basically stating that if she did something stupid like that, then she deserves the consequences and everything. And then the officer was in the right, and he went on to proceed to say that if teenagers do something stupid and they get killed by the police, then that's their fault, and they deserve what happens to them. He's real. He's like a shock jock of politicians. Like, that's kind of like the
right.
same wave that he's on. He tries to say stuff that will get attention and anything that will kind of get him noticed. He's the same person that recently we might have seen on the news about when they were trying to introduce the abortion bill for Ohio, he was the same representative that was talking about doing the procedure that doesn't actually exist as a, alternate thing for abortion. But it was just, he just kind of attaches himself onto anything that will get him attention.
Yeah,
basically.
we also found out that he runs a very prolific email list and Facebook page where he complains about all the folks that are mean to him because of how righteous he is, right?
Yeah. He, and then he also, recently he has been tried to be a meme person by basically, he caught some flack for threatening somebody online recently as well.
Interesting.
Yeah. He had shared a picture, I believe it was of two rooms. There was one room on this side, one room on that side, and there was a bed on the ground in between. And basically he had stated that if his daughter and her fiance were staying at the house this weekend, and he was going to be, they're sleeping in separate rooms, and he's going to be sleeping in the middle with his shotgun, just because he has to protect his daughter's sanctity before marriage and everything. And he caught some flack for that, because basically they were saying you're threatening people, so much to the point that the news actually picked it up and everything, and he ended up having to take it down. Which was hilarious, just because it's he basically said that, people misinterpret stuff that's online and take things the wrong way, and he didn't mean it in a violent way and all this other stuff, which is...
He just meant it in a creepy way. He just meant I think about my daughter's genitals all the time.
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
I'm
pretty much.
Abusing my kid kind of way.
Yeah.
It's so fucked up in so many ways. As an 11-year-old, I stole shit all the time. I broke things, and I got away with it, because of my race, because I'm not seen as a problem the way that these dudes do. There's no reason to fucking treat an 11-year-old with any sort of force at all. They're stupid kids. And any adult that stands up for the punishment of children, I think should be just ripped apart, metaphorically. With words.
Yeah, with words.
Just taken down completely, 1,000 cuts of vocabulary.
Yeah, there we go. But basically, that's what happened. I had read the article, and I shared the article on my Facebook page, and I had a choice of words where, don't get me wrong, I can definitely see how it could have been taken wrong this time, but compared to what a lot of people say online, there's no degree of what it should have been taken to what it was taken to, you know what I mean? So basically I had said that somebody should kill this piece of shit, and then I said, you want me to believe in a government where people like this are put in power. That's all I did. I shared the article, said that, and basically he seen that, and sent it into the police and said that he felt threatened. And since, he's a government official, police, are going to take it seriously.
Yeah.
And
he's done this before, right? He had a history of doing this type of shit?
Yeah, apparently he has a history of, starting stuff with people online and trying to get people riled up in order for him to pretend to feel like he was threatened and pretend to feel scared, even though,
This is one psychotic maniac who's made himself the center of attention, judging or saying that children should be killed by the police, children should be attacked by the police, and then acting like he's being victimized. This is the same thing it's the same, we talked about it on the show that we did earlier today. The police... We read an article from someone that said they've criminalized being the police. Somebody put that out there as their opinion that police just can't be police anymore. The cops you see out there are doing undercover work for no pay because the fucking Marxist government has made the police illegal.
Yeah.
It's they have just such a persecution complex. They just think that they are trying to save everybody and they're in trouble for it. And he's a fucking state representative.
Yeah.
This isn't an annoying guy on your block. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine. And I will say the one thing is I ended up getting arrested for it. I was locked up for a little bit of it. I ended up having to pay, little over $10,000 for all the court fees. I had to pay $7,000 just to be able to get out of jail, and then just for me to come back the next week for a I'm not going to get fully into it, but just for me to go back in next week for a court date, and just because they had the paperwork wrong, I ended up getting locked up again on a technicality.
Yeah, I mean, you spent how long? You spent a few days. You spent like a whole week. They got you on like a holiday weekend or something, right?
Yeah. They got me on what was it? It was like Columbus Day, or it was some holiday. I think it was Columbus Day. It was Columbus Day weekend. So I went in there on a Friday, thinking I was just going into court to sign my paperwork because I was originally denying the pretrial stuff, and I went in and they were like, "Oh well, we don't have some paperwork." Basically what it was, I'll go little details in it so that way it'll kind of explain.
Can I back you up a little bit?
Yes.
You got arrested at work.
Yeah, I got arrested at work.
Did you say that?
No, I don't think I did. No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I got to
you made a Facebook post, and
Yeah.
then what happened?
Yeah, I made the Facebook post, and then I forgot about it. I'm just kind of chilling at work and doing my thing, and then the Facebook post was around probably like 11 or 12, like around noon, you know what I mean? And then it's getting close for me to get off work, just around 6 p.m. So I'm at work, and my supervisor calls me and basically says that, oh, you can go ahead and come out and clock out. I was like, this seems a little weird, because normally we have to wait for somebody else to come and take over our spot, you know what I mean? But I was like, oh, well, maybe the person's just not showing up and they'll have somebody else go in my house. I'm like, cool.
Right.
But I grab my computer, grab all my shit, and then I start walking up front. And basically where I work at was like an apartment complex. It was like a courtyard. So I'm at the house at the very end. I walk to go up to the front, and then I see like 15 cops just like walking towards me. I think nothing of it, just because like working with teenagers and stuff, the police would be there a lot, just because sometimes the kids would have warrants or just a lot of wild shit was going on.
The police are a normal part of
of working that job. You see the police like all the time. So I ain't think nothing of it. I'm thinking they're coming there for somebody else. I'm walking up to come towards the exit, so I'm like walking towards them. And then next thing you know, they pull their guns out on me and tell me to get down on the ground. Yeah. Like all of them had their guns out. And I'm just like, I'm like kind of confused for a second. But as soon as I see guns, I'm like, all right, let me just put my hands up.
Yeah, I'm lacking right now, so I better get on the ground.
Yeah, I'm like, let me just. So I put my hands up, you know what I mean? And then I have my laptop and stuff in my hands. One of them comes behind me, takes my laptop off, and then they handcuff me. And then I asked, I'm like, what am I being charged with? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? And they were like, terrorist threats. And I was like, immediately, I was just like, this better not be over a fucking Facebook post. That's all I thought, bro.
Yeah.
I was like that, because I'm like, I don't do anything else.
Right.
Like, I really don't do anything else. Like, just little petty crime. Nothing that would have, like, 15 officers coming to my house or coming to my job to get me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
yeah. And I mean, I would have thrown up. Like, when they said terrorist threats, I would have just, like, thrown up. Like, oh, God. Because they can make that whatever they want.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, they have all the power. They feel afraid, and they can do whatever they want with their sticks and guns.
On a side note, what made it really shitty is, like, I was just getting ready to get off, and I had some Kratom with me, and I had took my Kratom. I was like, oh, I'm about to go home and just chill. You know what I mean? And you get arrested, and then you know how you take too much Kratom, sometimes you get a little nauseous anyway.
Sure.
I was already starting to feel nauseous just because I'm like in the back of a fucking paddy wagon, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh, this is worse. So, yeah, getting arrested will definitely ruin your Kratom buzz.
Yeah, I can imagine. So they hauled you off. How long did they hold you? Is this when you got held for the whole weekend? No, this was your first arrest.
Yeah, this was the first arrest. So like I was down at Franklin County, and then they moved me over to the other county jail. So I was there for about like a week, and
just waiting for arraignment.
Yeah, like I had to wait. Yeah, I had to wait. Was waiting for my arraignment and everything, and yeah.
You were in jail with how many people?
Oh, I had ridiculous amount. But like, okay, so Franklin County, like Jackson Pike, that's where I was at, and like they have a really bad overcrowding problem. So like they took me to the tank that I was in, and you know they give you a little pad so that way you can set it down to put on a bed, right? Well, when I first got there, there, you know, common problem, they didn't have any beds available, so they gave me the mat, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm about to just sleep on the floors, whatever, right? And but then I felt real bad because it was like two other guys came in after me and they didn't even have mats for them. So these dudes were just sleeping on the concrete, like in
in the rugged style.
Yeah, on the floor and everything. Ugh. And I was just like, oh, bro, salty. And then, you know, I ain't had no problems when I was there, though. Everybody that I was talking to, everybody that I was in there with was cool. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody, like, only people that were assholes were the correctional officers.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of what I figured, though.
Sure.
Everybody else was just, like, either, like, coming off of drugs or had been there for a second, so they were just kind of chilling, you know what I mean?
You said you met a few people in there for child support, too? That were like,
oh, yeah. Well, that was when I got locked up, when I had to go turn myself in to where the charges were at, because I got arrested in Columbus, but since the politician that pressed the charges on me was from down by Cincinnati, it was like Union County, it's like in the middle of fucking nowhere. I had to go once I got out here because they had a holder on me. They never came to get me. Here.
Yeah, you got arrested the first time, and they were supposed to come get you, and they never did. So I got out. I was out for like a day and a half, and then I went to go turn myself in down there, and then I was locked up down there. And it's just like in that town, there's literally more people in jail than there is than people that live in the town. Like the town is that small. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's that off. Like they're just making money off those people.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, like from what I learned in Ohio, they have they lock up more people in that in that county for what's it called, for misdemeanors. They give people more jail time for misdemeanors and get more higher conviction rates than like the federal government does in Ohio.
God,
so like
damn.
You can go to feds and have more of a chance of getting out than you would going to what is that county, man? I forget what it's called. But yeah,
it's fine. We don't have our fans fuck it up, get us in trouble again.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so you spent a lot of time in and out of jail, and then I mean, eventually you got out. Like you paid your bond, and you were out, but then you like couldn't get a fucking job, right?
Yeah. I had after the whole thing like of me being in jail, getting out, going to jail again, getting out, and then going to jail again because of all the just technical errors that they had on everything, from them dropping my charges and then being charged with something else, all because of the same shit. Like when I got out, I by the time the case was actually over with, it had been almost a year. And then I was like, all right, well, I got found not guilty. I'm like, this is cool. I'm like, I can just go get a job now. My lawyers, which I'm kind of salty about, is they didn't explain the fact that, like, even though I got found not guilty, if you still have these charges on your record, it can prevent you from getting a job. And especially since, like, the type of work that I do, they're very picky. Like, you can't have any criminal record if you're working with kids.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And
So yeah, I mean, most of the time you were waiting for the case to wrap up. You were just working odd jobs that fell apart and shit if people found out what was going on, right?
Yeah. Like I had to start working a job, and I was like, oh man, this is dope. Like it's something that I was super qualified for, and I thought I was good. And then I go into work, like after a week of working there. And I'm met at the front door, and they're like, oh, you didn't get my email?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. And then they're just like, oh, we can't have you work here. And I'm like, for what? And then they never explained it to me. But then I realized it was because I didn't know that just because I still had I didn't know those charges would still pop up. So I had to go through the process of getting them sealed, which took months. So literally by the time I got arrested on the 15th of September, And then by the time I was done with everything and finally got everything sealed off my record, it was like September 18th of this year. So it took almost exactly a year for me to get everything done and over with. You know what I mean?
And you have a partner that you can rely on. You have family you can rely on. Street Fight people helped you out.
Yeah.
There's no way. I mean, anybody can make it through that without an immense amount of help. I mean, can you imagine going through that shit without a lawyer?
Yeah, no, 1,000%. If I would have had a public defender, like, it would have been done. You know what I mean? I'd still be locked up right now if I had a public defender.
Right.
And my whole point is they kept pushing my trial date back. So, like, if I wouldn't have had people that I know help me with money, and then let alone, like, point blank period, if y'all wouldn't have helped me out with Street Fight stuff, and I wouldn't have had a lot of the listeners and supporters, like, send me money, I would have been locked up that entire year just to be found out to be not guilty. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, yeah, it was ridiculous. My whole thing, like, I understand I'm in a position of privilege. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm very thankful for the fact that I do have family that'll help me. We fucking went into debt. My girlfriend, like, cashed out on a credit card to get me out of jail. You know what I mean? I love you, Tasha. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to do that.
Gotta get your points.
Yeah, I had to do that. I had to get the points. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, so now your record is sealed. There's no proof of it or anything, right?
Yeah. My record is sealed. The reason why it took so long to also seal it was just because, I had the original charge, which was terrorist threats, and then that got dropped, and they charged me with telecommunications harassment, but I also had a holder from where they had put that holder on me to come get me. So even though I only got charged with one thing, technically at the end of it, I only went to trial for one thing. It looked like I had 3 charges on my record. Like if you were to look up my name, because since I got arrested here, it said I had the holder for Columbus, and then I had the terrorist threats charge for the other place, and then I also had the telecommunications harassment. So it looked like I got 3 charges in one thing. So, like, even if I would have tried to explain that to people, they could just not believe me, and then you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, which is what happened most of the time.
Right. And you're still, I mean, if people Google you, it's probably not good, right?
Yeah, no, if you still Google my name, that shit pops up, and yeah. Pretty much it. Like, and that's one thing I will say, like, Cincinnati.com, the Inquirer, like, they can fuck off, like 1,000%, just because I'm like, they didn't contact me, ask me anything. They definitely reported everything that, asshole said, you know what I mean? But they didn't ask me shit. It took one small newspaper, and like, they didn't even do any investigation. This is a bigger newspaper. And then it took a newspaper that was from this man's town to actually dig in and actually look at stuff and see everything. But, if you look up my shit now, it just says, like, man threatened, Columbus man threatened, and this dude was trying to make me look so cool. He made me look so much cooler than what I was. He was saying I was a prominent left-wing activist, and, like, he made me look real cool. Like,
sure.
Like I'm not just somebody who, like I'm not just somebody who just goes to work and comes home and
has revolutionary thoughts in your brain.
Yeah, yells a lot on Facebook. That's about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I do want to say you did report to me that they put memes in the court, right? They showed memes on the wall.
Yeah, so that if you look up my paperwork and everything, when you if you want to look and see all the evidence that they had against me, right? It was they had 55 something different memes that I posted. Like, they had the original post that from that I originally said, the one that caused the charge, right? But then the other evidence that the police had tried to collect on me was they went on my page and just copied a bunch of different memes that I had posted that were trying to show that I was anti-police and anti-government, and I support violence against politicians, and trying to make me look like I was some, like I was like mass shooter in training or something
Right.
like that. You know what I
Right.
mean? And yeah, and it was funny. I swear to you, like as fucked up as the situation was, and as how long it took, I never thought that I would ever be in court hearing a lawyer explain to a judge what a meme is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like it was the most surreal shit ever. Like a bunch of them end up getting dismissed and they couldn't use it. Pretty much all of it got dismissed. Like we had the thing where we had to go there so they can present evidence and see if it could be used in court or not. And they used this one post that I did where it was I took a picture of this guy from California that had killed a bunch of police officers, and he was in court and he was just smiling in the picture. And all I said was, I'm ignorant. I got an ignorant sense of humor. I'm always been like that. You can tell if you look at anything that I do, I'm an asshole. So like, I just said CPD got me feeling like, and then it had just this man smiling. Right. And I understand that if someone else were to look at it, and they understand the situation, it can be seen as tasteless and all this. But like at the end of the day, I really don't give a fuck. So it's just jokes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's better than me going out here and doing some wild shit that I could be doing, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so basically, in court, the lawyer, the prosecutor was like, had to explain what got me feeling like memes were to a judge. And he was like, this is from the series of got me feeling like. And then he gave an example of what a got me feeling like meme is. And it was the most surreal shit ever. It was
Wow.
wild. It was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great.
Got me feeling like TFW means.
Yeah.
That feeling when.
Yeah. And it was just like,
well,
yeah.
I mean, you made it out. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wanted to, before we start talking about the music, I did want to ask a little bit about like your background and stuff, because I really don't know as much, but you talk about Northside and Linden.
Yeah, boy!
All the time. That is actually where I was born and raised before my parents did the white flight thing and moved away. Hamilton Avenue was my get down. Mm-hmm. Went to Mifflin Middle School and all that, and it was weird to hear it shouted out in song. But what's your history in Columbus? You born and raised?
Yes, sir. So, I kind of had a weird kind of growing up thing, because like growing up, my dad, we lived on the south side by like 22nd and Whittier, that area on the south side of Columbus. This is going to be a whole bunch of Columbus shit that people that are from out of town are going to be like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Right.
But grew up out south, and then, my mom and my dad were separated, and she lived in like Hilliard. So Hilliard is more like suburbs, you know what I mean? So I would go back and forth. So I kind of got exposed to both sides of stuff. Like I went to middle school out in Hilliard for a little bit, and like I just remember like people would joke around about not like just because I listened to rap music and was saying just ghetto shit. And I remember when I was really little, like I would want to have some of my friends come stay the night that were from Hilliard, like, and their parents would never let them come stay the night at my dad's house, and I used to be so confused because they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you can come stay the night over here."
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like, but then they would never want to come to my dad's house, and I didn't get it till I was older that it was just like my dad lived in a cliche bad neighborhood, but it's just like.
Dude, we had a situation over here where I had a niece over from Grandview, and she brought one of her friends with her, and her mom's like looked at her location on her phone and was like, "You need to come home right now," because she thought that she was in a dangerous neighborhood over here.
Wow,
right where we're at right now.
She probably just seen like that it was by Weber. And they're
Weber.
like, "I've heard it,
Yeah,
the Weber boys."
Yeah, Weber Road, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, it's close. It's right over the train tracks, but like it's not even close.
My whole thing is this whole idea. Half the times when it's people have this idea about bad neighborhoods, it's white people and they just see like more black people than what they would normally see, and then they're like, "Oh my god, it's a bad neighborhood.
Anything could happen." Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's bullshit. Yeah, it's Ride my bike through those neighborhoods all the time. The only thing that makes them bad is that the city won't fucking fix the sidewalks, and the city won't replace the light bulbs, and there won't be any infrastructure. Like, that's what makes them bad neighborhoods, is that
like I knew
they're
more,
fucking let them fall apart.
I knew more people that did wild shit out in the suburbs, like more people that sold drugs out there and was doing wild, like I had more friends that were doing stupid shit out there than there was people doing stupid shit up here. Half of my friends that lived in these so-called bad neighborhoods wasn't doing a bunch of wild shit just because they knew that they were targets.
Right.
You know what I mean? They knew that, like, if they do anything that's fucked up, they're gonna get the fucking book thrown at them. So it's just kind of like
White boys, that's the thing too, is we were having the conversation about niece's school as well, and it's like they got enough money to fucking slang cocaine at that school. Like so they could get into their parents' purse and steal $100. Like we stole $1 from my motherfucking mom's mom. You know, we stole her last damn dollar. Like, we didn't get paid. I didn't get a $50 a week allowance to buy hydro weed and shit. You know, like that. I had to make my own money to buy my own shit. And there's a lot more of it in those rich motherfucking neighborhoods. And there's a lot more. They're also more willing to say, like, oh, this is a mistake, and they can pay for rehab, or they can pay for programs, or they can do all this stuff. They get all the care and concern. And once again, the bad neighborhoods, you know, we ignore those people and then say it's their fault, you know?
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
So basically, I lived out south and then was kind of going back and forth. And then around like 9th grade, I just moved in with my dad pretty much full time. I still go see my mom and stuff on the weekends. And he moved from the south side and moved up to the north side. And I would consider where I live at wasn't like the worst neighborhood, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, but I was a very depressed child, you know what I mean? Very, very depressed and like teenager. So like, I never was like, I want to kill myself, but I used to just put myself in like wild, dumb situations, like just because I enjoyed it. Like that shit made, you know, when you're sad, when you're sad all the time, like wild shit just makes you feel great.
That's
you
true.
know what I mean?
That's true. That's like we would throw like eggs at fucking cop cars and run from them. And shit.
Yeah, and like we used to go. I used to be down on Cleveland 15th and shit all the time, just chilling and just doing stupid shit, bro. Like started drinking when I was like 12. You know what I mean? And like started doing lean and shit when I was like 14, and that was like back in the day when it was like, yeah, we're on fucking Medicaid, get this for like $6.
yeah, that's when it was flowing.
It was just fucking out.
I used to get it for a bad cough. My one friend had like this really good, had this great doctor, and she would just go like once a year and be like, I got a real bad cough, and then invite everybody over for a party.
Yeah, I had bronchitis like constantly all the time, and then would just like get the bronchitis, and I knew how long it would last. I'm like, I can just take this antibiotics, and then I'll just take regularized NyQuil, so that way I can save the fucking liquid hydrocodone, the fucking red shit for when I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
And so I was just wilding out around here. I used to be Southland and Northland, just on Cleveland Avenue all the time. Yeah. Period. Because I was just, you know, if you live up north, you didn't have anything to do. You was always at fucking Northern Lights or just riding down. If you don't have a car, you're fucking, taking the bus down Cleveland all the time and just doing whatever, just doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
Like
Northern Lights, that's why I used to ride my bike all the time. Northern Lights, because there was like a dollar store.
And
there was
Clown Cone.
Yeah, I was just turning somebody onto it last night. It's still around.
Yeah. Fucking go to Clown Cone.
Yeah, if you ever come to Columbus, go to Clown Cone.
Yeah, it's at Northern Light Shopping Center. You can get some really cheap candy, and
they got the penny candies still.
Yeah, penny candies. You can get fucking slushies, like a full fucking 32-ounce slushie for like 80 cents.
Yep,
it's the best.
They got ice cream. They'll put ice cream in the cup with the hat on it, with the little ice cream, with the little whipped cream eyes and shit. That's the Clown Cone is what it is.
yeah I know. So I moved up here, and like before I moved up north, like I had that's when I started getting more into rap music, and I started teaching myself how to record and shit like that. And when I was in high school, I had used to be the guy that I was like the one dude who had like studio equipment. So like everybody would yeah, go to Jake's house, bro, so we can get some music done, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was fun. That's when I started like rapping and taking it a little more serious, and recording drug dealers so that way I could get free drugs. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Makes sense.
That was always the best. You know what I mean? And one of my homies in the chat.
So that's what got you into it?
T Money. But yeah, just what got me into rap music was just like my mom used to randomly listen to it a whole lot, which is kind of random. Like when I was little, I used to listen to rock music a lot, but then my mom, she used to listen to Doggy Style and The Chronic like all the time. It's the most strangest shit.
Yeah.
And like I was like, oh, this is dope. And then I remember when I was in like 6th grade, I started listening to like 3-6 Mafia and like Trick Daddy and all that shit. And then I went through the phase that like, you know, I feel like every fucking white dude that listens to rap music, they're always like, gotta get into real hip hop, bro. Fucking Wu-Tang Clan, bro. You know what I mean? So I started listening to Mobb Deep and Mos Def and Talib Kweli.
Idea and Abilities.
Yeah, Idea and Ability, fucking Atmosphere and like all that shit. Not knocking any of those people because I know a lot of the people that do this shit, but like, you know, that's cliche white people hip hop.
Well, especially when you elevate it above everything else too.
Yeah.
When you're like, you know, start talking about cadences and start critiquing it like it's fucking writing or something.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly. Technically
gifted rappers.
But yeah, and then when I got into high school, I was still doing music and stuff like that, and one of the things that kind of made me start looking at music differently was when I was 15. Essence Magazine had this songwriting contest where basically if you it was for people between the ages of like 13 and like 21, and like you just you wrote a song and recorded it and sent it in, and then they had judges from Berklee College of Music judge on it, and then they had like 3 celebrity judges. It was like Questlove, MC Light, and then I forget who the other person was. And I had entered the contest, and I was just like, oh, this is dope, this is cool, it should just be fun. And I ended up winning the contest, and so I got to go to Berklee College of Music in Boston for like a summer, and got to open up for fucking Slick Rick and De La Soul, and like it was fun, bro. It was fun, bro. But at that time, mind you, this is depressed Jake. So this is Jake, like, you know, you send someone who's used to just being out in the street and doing dumb shit all the time. My parents loved me to death, but I had no supervision. Right. I was not disciplined and no supervision. I love you, Mom, and I love you, Dad, but y'all did not. My dad knew some of the shit I was doing. He's probably gonna listen to this and be like cracking up. But so I went there. I had a great time, but it was like you pay. You don't have to pay for food. You send a kid who's 15 that's used to wilding out in the streets, going to a city he's never been to before with money. And bro, I just wild out when I was there. Just lots of drugs. That was great.
Yeah,
it was fun. A lot of drugs.
Nobody, and just you were under the radar, or everybody was it? Were there other students there?
Yeah,
doing the same thing.
There was other students there, and mind you, all these other. If you didn't get a scholarship for the program was like $15,000.
Okay.
So I was there with like celebrities' kids.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like Morris Day from Morris Day and Time. I was there with his son.
Okay.
And then the one bald dude that has he's like the band on like I don't know if it's Conan. He's like the leader of the band.
Kevin Eubanks?
I'm not sure. I forget
That's
what
Jay Leno's band guy.
Yeah. He was like the bald dude.
Yeah.
I was there with his son, and like there was a bunch of other people that were like celebrities. So, you know, they're all rich kids. And like we were like all the people, you could tell the people that were there was only 2 other people there that were there on rap things, because it was like I got first place, and then there was 2 other winners, and like second place, and then a third place. So I was there with the rap kids all stuck together, because everybody else there was like, you know, either classically trained musician like jazz or rock or, you know, piano and, you know, stuff like that. But it was fun. It definitely exposed me to shit that I would have not been exposed to if I would have just been here in Columbus. You know what I mean?
That's amazing. It sounds like a great experience.
Yeah.
And I mean, the problem I think the funny thing, you have it, Brian has it too, but you have a shame about what you did when you were a teen, like because you weren't like the best or on task or whatever.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
like that this is what people forget when they grow up, is that like that type of behavior says nothing about who you're going to become, because we treat children in a way that like if they fuck up right now, their whole thing goes down the drain. And it's like people sometimes take 10 to 20 years and then it clicks and they they become happy again, or they figure out like, oh wait, that's mental illness. That's what that was.
Yeah. Shout out mental illness numbers. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, so I mean, I wouldn't feel ashamed. It made you who you are, and you have a more nuanced and interesting point of view than most other people do. So you you tuned into that different wavelength.
Yeah. Try to be. I think that's part of the reason why, like, I feel like it also kind of jaded me when I was younger, just because like I was so young and I was getting in a position where like I had people that was, pushing me into doing music professionally and everything. And like at that age, like I told you, like I was just not ready for that shit. You know what I mean? But I had people offering me money, and it was just kind of like, I don't know what the fuck to do. And all I'd ever been told my whole life was like, don't ever sign nothing. They gonna fuck you over. That was it. You know what I mean?
That's such a,
like, don't ever take no money from these record labels will screw, you know what I mean?
Right.
And, I think that's part of the reason why I enjoy doing this project, is because like I was, on and off doing music for the longest time, but I feel like I'm finally at a point now that I'm, an older man,
right, more
mature man, that I can do music and I don't have to have this weird feeling of being like, I don't want to sell myself like a product, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can put it out. If I make money from it, that's cool. People should give me money because I need it and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying doing music again. You know what I mean?
That's great. That's great. So let's talk a little bit. Let's talk about the album, but I also want to talk about like if you have influences or if there's people that you think of when you're doing this stuff. Because off the jump, what I like about the album the most is that this actually sounds old school to me. In a way that like I keep up with all the SoundCloud rap now, and those songs are all like 90 seconds long, and like the whole wave for the last 3 years has been keep your album under 30 minutes and put a lot of tracks on it so you can get the streams up, so that you can get, it makes it easier to get to the top of the charts that way. But this is like some ride the beat out interludes, samples, really good classic. I mean, like hip hop, I guess is what I would say from the golden era to me. It's still, it has this same, it's not the same, but it has those similar foundations. The opening song with the strings and shit is like, just amazing. I love it when it's just that like, there's a care and concern, where you're like, you're ready to take these people on a ride, and it doesn't just like come out with like, these are my songs. You don't do just one style. You don't have one thing. These are all individual songs that matter. You're not just trying to get streams out of people. And I do appreciate that. And I think it's a great album. And the first song, Officer Down, like I said, comes in with just the light horns and strings and stuff to get you ready. Like some Meek Mill shit. Some Dream Chaser shit.
The first track I was trying to just fucking do the cliche, like I'm gonna give them bars. Yeah. I was trying to do that, just because that was the one thing that I really wanted to do with this product, or with this project, is like I listen to all types of fucking rap. You know what I mean? I grew up listening to trap shit. I also grew up listening to like hip hop shit. You know what I mean? I respect both of it, just because it's like, it's an art form regardless of what the fuck your, entitled views are on whatever. Like, I don't give a fuck if all you listen to is fucking MF Doom. That's cool for you, bro. Enjoy the music, but don't try to shit on other people because they fuck with Gotti or Gucci. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and that was the thing that I wanted to do on this project, is like, I love hood shit, but I love it when rappers talk about stuff too. And I love the emotion that comes with hood shit, and the feeling that comes with it is so fucking raw, you know what I mean? So like with this project, I really just had fun with it, and like I got to rap on some hood beats, some trap shit, but then I still maintain my level of like what I want to say on it. You know what I mean? That's the thing that I love about hip hop music, is the fact that you can say whatever the fuck you want on it. You don't have to be pigeonholed it to one thing. You know what I mean? And the first track on the project was I just have fun. Like I was like, man, let me do. I was thinking of my dude Jerome. Me and him don't really talk all like that, but he just did some photos and stuff for me. He's real big into like Smack DVD and like the battle rap shit, and I was like, I know I at least got to do like some fucking metaphors and fucking all that shit, you know what I mean? And that was like the first track. I was trying to keep it real, like hip hop, but then the second song, it's more hood shit, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it sets the table really well, and it also uses, you're setting people up, you're saying leftist, you're saying ACAB, all that stuff. Like
yeah.
You're letting people know what this is about immediately.
Yeah, that's the one thing that like I wasn't, when I went to go do this, I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna make a leftist rap album. You know what I mean? I was just like, it's shit that I'm interested in, and it's shit that I talk about. Just like if you go back online and you look at shit now, I used to be a Christian. I have Christian rap online, and you know what I mean? And like looking back at some of the shit I said, it was probably like, I would see it as problematic now. It wasn't necessarily negative as far as like saying fucked up stuff, but it was coming from a Christian worldview. You know what I mean? And it's just like, my worldview has changed, so naturally the music is going to change with it. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I really just enjoyed doing this. Like even before I got arrested, I was working on this, and then after I got arrested, I had nothing but free time. So it was just kind of like, well, might as well finish this up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, there is a song on here, which I like. It's emotional and talks about stuff that like I would still like to ask you about off mic. But the Holy Ghost on Pills song relates to some of the religious stuff that you were talking about. And
yeah.
You know, also some, you know, you do a lot of real stuff about drugs. You know, like you said, you can be you can either be the dealer or the fiend, right? You can't be both. Like nobody does a good job of being a drug user and like also a seller.
Yeah, and it's just like, but that's it. It's like, it's hard to straddle that line, just because I know a lot of people who sell pills just so that way they can get pills for free.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But eventually that shit always ends up fucking up. You end up owing your plug on some shit, you know what I mean? And then it gets all bad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've seen it happen, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I never considered myself a drug dealer. I never considered myself a trapper. Like I was more of a middleman when it came to shit. It was more like, oh, I got some drugs.
Right.
You want to trade? You know what I mean? Like
or like buy, you know, same here. Like I would usually just try to get a bulk buy going. Like if somebody's like, I want this amount, I'm like, well, I'll add a couple of my own on top and get it for cheap, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But
yeah. So so the religious aspect of your music is out the window. And now you have song titles like Capitalism is a Disease, Piss on Your American Flag, Kill Your Local Racist. So you're having new righteousness, but it's in a different direction. I don't know what, I guess, I don't know what is your favorite song on here, do you think? Like which one do you enjoy the most, or because I love the meme. I do have the meme song stuck in my head a lot when I hear it. I still sing that in my head. But then I like the Guns one too. And the one where you slow down the voice. You have a lot. It's crazy because it's just you that made this, right?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that when we played your song, someone messaged me. It was like, man, I fuck with that rap group that you played after the show. Somebody thought you were like 3 people.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I really like "Kill Your Local Racist" just because I had a fun time doing that song, and I loved doing the ad libs in the background. It was fun going and making it record that in the background. It sounded funny.
Yeah.
I will say one of the songs that stands out to me as far as feeling is the last song that's on the project, and that's "Terrorist." And that's because, like, I remember writing that. I wrote that when I was in jail, and it was like I didn't have, obviously I had no fucking headphones. I didn't have a beat or anything like that. So like I remember I was just looking crazy. All I was doing was just fucking tapping on my chest and rapping, and just because a lot of the songs, like, I wrote in my head. When all these rappers will sit here and say like, "Oh yeah, freestyled," a lot of that's not freestyle. A lot of that shit, when it sounds written, it's just because they've listened to a beat a whole bunch of times. They didn't write it down. They just memorize it in their head. And that's what I was doing when I was in jail, to try to like just make the time go a little bit faster. But I was never one of these people that can. There's some people that can like beat on their chest or make beats on a table and rap at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't have that much fucking rhythm, so like I can maybe make some beats, but I can't rap to it while I'm doing it. But I can do I can do that. So like
Like a metronome.
Little metronome. So like I wrote that when I was in jail, that they trying to say I'm a terrorist. This is America. Nobody hearing it. Like, they get to say what they want. If you say something back, they lock up or they bury. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I really felt what I was saying, because I was really talking about what I was going through at that time, because that's exactly what it was. Like, I remember when I went to go turn myself in down there, I'm thinking I look good just because I got my hair cut, I got my beard trimmed. I'm going down there trying to look as white as possible, so that way, you know, I can look like one of their relatives, so that way they'll be nice to me when I go down there. And basically I go in there, turn myself in, and I just remember this dude asked me if I was an Islamic extremist. One of the sheriffs did. And I thought he was joking, so I started cracking up laughing. And, like, he was not laughing at all. And he was just like, you're probably an Islamic extremist, aren't you? Like, dude really thought I was fucking ISIS.
Because the beard?
Just because I was there for terrorist threats, and he seen what it was. So, like, and I even trimmed my beard down and everything. But it's just like, dude, you know, these cops are so living in this fantasy world where if they touch fentanyl, they're gonna die, and then if someone threatens the government, then they're a terrorist, or that you know, ISIS is at your front door, and Antifa is trying to kill a whole bunch of cops out here. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they live in this fictional fucking world, and I had just, you know, that song, I made it when I was writing it when I was in jail, and all I was just thinking about was this bullshit, bro, where it's just like they're taking my freedom away because it's something I said, when at the end of the day, one of the biggest things that all these fucking libertarians and all these conservative people fight for is fucking freedom of speech. But yeah, it's just like, nah, it's freedom. It's freedom if it's something that you want to hear. You know what I mean? It's not freedom if it's something that's going against the good old boys and everything like that. You know what I mean?
That's always been their thing. We have the freedom to join and act like them. We have the freedom to be, you know, white fucking Christians. That's what we have. That's all we have the freedom to be in this country.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Any shout outs? Anybody that helped you out? Any beat people that you want to say thanks to? No.
Cash AP on the beat. He made some of the tracks. I have to get the other people's names because a lot of it was just shit that I found online. I need producers. I need people that make beats. So if you want to send me some stuff, I'm broke, but I will try to make some good music to it, and then we can sell it, and then I'll split the money with you if you want to do that. Sure. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So,
and where can they get Terrorist Threats right now?
It is real quick, I do want to shout out Tasha, my girlfriend Latasha. She helped me with the cover for the project and everything. She helped me on that. But you can find it's on all streaming services: Apple Music, Tidal, fucking, you know, all the shits. You know what I mean? Spotify, all that shit. Oh yeah, that was nice.
And if they want to support the music and purchase it for their own computer and stuff, where can they go to buy it?
It's cdbaby.com/IceeJake, or if you just go to cdbaby.com/IceeJake, It's called Terrorist Threats, and it's on sale for like $9.99, and pretty much all that money goes straight to me if you buy it from there, which is nice.
Yeah, and I think maybe we could cut this part out, but we're gonna have pre-orders on our website now for the tape too. Might as well, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
might as well. Yeah,
it takes a few weeks to get it done, but we're trying to figure out what the initial interest is. If you want a cassette version of Terrorist Threats, we will send you the digital stuff too. Can we do that?
Yeah.
So we'll send you the digital files as well if you put down a pre-order on a cassette tape, so that way we can get production going on that.
And the cassette tape is gonna have probably like 5 extra songs on there that you won't be able to find on anything else.
Right, 60 minutes on tape. It's like a 40-minute album or something. So right,
yeah, it's like 38 or 39 minutes.
So we're gonna fill up the rest with bonus material you won't get anywhere else. That's at store.streetfightradio.com if you want to pre-order that today. And hopefully we'll be working with other artists in the future, maybe to bring some musical projects. I don't know how much I want to get into this. This is just convenient to do with Jake.
Rappers are pretty annoying, so it's going to be, rough. But.
Yeah, it's a money.
I'm trying my hardest to not be annoying.
Yeah, it's Tom Sexton told me it's an expensive hobby to be into helping rappers out.
Yeah. Because we're all fickle, emotional people that all think they're better than everybody else.
Yeah,
it's
trying to get paid.
Yeah.
Well, so let's see how good you are as an artist. I'm going to put you through the ringer, and since I'm not a hip hop correspondent, I'm just going to steal from one of the greats, Sway in the Morning, and hit you with the 5 fingers of death. You think you can do it?
For sure.
Give me a minute. I got to move over. Let's see. For those of you that don't know, these are going to be 5 beats chosen by me that Jake is going to try to rhyme to. You got your headphones on? You plugged in?
For sure.
I don't have a mic, but I can maybe move mine over. I'm not going to talk because you're going to be playing music. You're going to be rapping.
I'm going to be rappity-tappity.
All right, let's do this.
You might hear me fart. Oh, yeah.
All right, let's do this. All right, I'm going to get set up here. For those on the stream, you can see me. I'm putting on my DJ headphones here. I'm going to get this started. Let's do this.
He's about to fucking girl talk your ass to death.
Here we go.
You say your Icee on the beat.
Jesus is the one.
All right, let me see.
He's the one.
Don't let me start on these rapping ass rappers. You don't sound smart just cause you rap faster. Lyrical miracle material ass rappers. Packing the Mac in the back of the Acco fast ass rappers. Use a lot of words, but you not saying shit. Then you got the nerve to say that you spit. Rapping about rapping, that's some whack ass shit. Talking trash about the trappers. When you see them, then you dip. You's a bitch. And you corny. When you spit, it's fucking boring. Oh, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. You would probably drink the sweat off of Eminem's cock, man. Every other line bars this, flow that. You don't need an AR cause you lyrically strapped. Just a bunch of white guys who wanna be black, but when they inside, they wear MAGA hats. Use a barbecue Becky, mom spaghetti. When you're around black people, your palms get sweaty. All lives matter ass, weak having bladder ass. I don't see race, oh straight parade having ass. Keep a Black Lives Matter sign in your yard. But when you in a black neighborhood, you lock your car. Old Tom MacDonald ass, 8chan model ass, edgelord. When you get bored, you hit the follow ass. Top 3 rappers, Eminem, Pac, and Biggie. Immortal Technique, or Logic, or 50. No, I'm not shitting on them, I'm just here to say, how you an old school rapper? You was born in 98, and you stay talking shit about what the radio play. You say it's easy to make, and hip hop is in the grave. Well, if it's really dead, then you the one to blame. No evolution in the music, all you do is complain. I'd rather hear about what's going on in the street than hear you talking about what you gonna do to a beat. Just cause you can't relate to the stories we tell don't mean that shit ain't real. You need to check yourself. If all you rap about is other rappers calling them fake, then your life is really pointless and you got nothing to say. Hey, but that's okay, cause that cornball shit dog get no play, okay? Stay with a weapon. Wait, no, cause I got depression. I'm in my section. Wait, no, I got depression.
Woo! Yes! Alright!
I'm just trying to keep my head clear. It's hard to feel alive when you living life with death near. Screaming inside, but it's falling on deaf ears. Blood, sweat, tears. If I die before next year, you can dump my ashes on them state house steps, but leave my asshole whole so they can kiss what's left. That's a rim job. Now we acting out like it's improv. Black block on your back block. We the lynch mob. This is for the women in them hijabs who get treated like shit and can't get jobs. Cause 9/11 got white folks shook, cause they killed us like we killed them every month. Hey, I hate to say it, but it's retribution. Eye for eye when it's revolution. Is you down to ride when they start cruising? Tell me, is you down to slide when they start shooting? Fuck a motherfucking pig, CPD can suck a dick. I be rolling with some Crips and my blood's down the trip with my cuz off the strength that they be killing us over shit. I just need to vent, but it's hard for me to chill when every motherfucking week somebody else is getting killed by the hands of the law. And I never get involved. I was locked up before when all I did was talk. I was sitting in that tank not knowing what to think. Spent every dollar in the bank just to get out the clank. Now they got me on a watch list. Tell the pigs watch this. If we don't start popping cops, they ain't gonna stop shit. Chris Dorner on the corner, let the Glock spit. Thug life, yeah, I'm on my Pac shit. Better feel me before they kill me. Nah, we ain't gonna stop shit.
Alright.
Uh-oh, it's an Alchemist. It's that dope fiend jumping out the pot, rubber bands and weight. It's like, yeah, you don't want no drama, bitch. Smash the patriarchy, shit sounds so ominous. Barack Obama clips, IEDs on every block. We bombing shit, D's on the scene get mopped. I got the comment, bitch. Media keep hitting me up. No comment, bitch. Tell them they can suck my dick until they vomit, bitch. I know some women down to die for equality. Stay strapped, fuck a wage gap in they policies. Men trying to say what you can do with your body, ayy, sounding like some Nazis. 12 gauge shotty, ayy, close range, let it bang, things will get sloppy, ayy. Hit his head, hold his brains, that's how you catch a body, yeah. Power to the people, free drugs and clean needles. I don't give a fuck about freedom if we ain't equal. You can kill a black man and not a bald eagle. If I told you kill the president, then that would be illegal. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat, bitch, come up from the middle with the atlas, where the trap smell like cat piss. That fish scale, no catfish. Hit him with the automatopoeia when I'm saying that I'm gonna brat shit. Burn him up like gonorrhea, I swear to God I'm rat shit. Hands on the pole like a stripper. Shout out to the sex workers, get your money, sister. Motherfuck the system and anyone who think different. Fuck every politician, we gon' burn down them prisons. Uh-oh, what's that? Shove it, shove it. Shout out POD Cast. Alright, let me see. Yeah, you don't want no beef, it can get live in the street. We gon' ride with the heat, aim it at the police, they gonna die in the street. Ain't no time for peace in the land of the free. We got freedom of speech, at least that's what they teach. If you look like me, you can get away with a whole lot more than you ought to be. Hypocrisy, all I see, we all bleed, we all breathe. But it seems the police only see skin deep. Honestly, talk is cheap. Save your apologies, we want our payback in blood and flesh. I got a piece. Tat tat, the sound of the strap when you lay him on down right now. Where he at? Load another round on his side of town and shoot up his house and blow up his trap. Facts. Alright.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Okay, Boomer.
Get this
Uh-oh. Okay, Boomer. Alright. I'm be like, put this all on my dead homies. My blood is all who is there for me. My cousin on call cause he cared for me. Gon' blow the smog in the air for me. Motherfuck the law and them mandatory minimum sentences. Prison is a big private business. Politicians make it legitimate. Commas running up with them sentences. Meanwhile, the world is ran by pedophiles. If you rich, you can rape a child. With enough money, they won't take you down. I say we run up in his house. I say we put a gun in his mouth. Get a list of his friends and hunt them all down. And lay them all deep under the ground. Shh. Big brother around, they looking for a reason to shut us down. What you call treason, I call getting even. We don't need no government now. I say we run up on them motherfuckers and then get to bustin'. Fuck anybody who love them, fuck anybody who want it. I put that shit on my loved ones. Okay, Boomer, say the fuck off the computer. I got shooters, I got boosters, I got chicken. Okay, roosters, okay, Boomer. You're a loser. You're a loser. You're a loser.
Woo! Yes.
Alright, that was fun.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. I hope everybody on the live stream fell for my DJ trick there.
That was nice. You seen it? He was doing a bunch of shit. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, I was beat juggling the whole time.
You know what I mean? He was like,
thank you for doing that. That was fucking awesome. People in the chat fucking loved it. They were going off. If you want to hear more of it, maybe we could do you just want to, if when we do the podcast, we could just put the whole album at the end so people can listen for free for once?
yeah, that'd be cool.
Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we're going to close out with the song, with the album Terrorist Threats by Icee Jake. I'm going to work on getting that pre-order up as soon as possible, and we will get all of your stuff. Thank you for listening to Street Fight. Thank you for supporting what we do, and help Jake, get paid off this music that he's making. It's a fucking great album. It passes the car test. Like when I'm driving around in my vehicle, it just bangs. It sounds so good. That's when shit sounds the best, and I'm really proud of it and glad you did it, and hope to see more from you in the future. We're working on some live events as well, so Columbus folks, January, February, March, this winter, we're going to have some live shows with Jake as well. So, you got anything to say?
Not that I can think of. I know the one thing you haven't announced officially the thing in December yet, right?
No, but we can talk about it. We're doing it.
Okay. Yeah. For sure.
The live stream?
Yeah, live stream.
Yes, there is going to be, we're calling it a live stream, but I think we need to stop. We need to change it's a variety show. December 27th, we're doing a variety show, which means any number of musical acts that we know could eventually end up performing there. So, prepare to be in Columbus, Ohio, 2 days after Christmas. I know a lot of people are in town. That's going to be going down. Tickets will be on sale soon for Ruby Tuesday. We're going to have a fucking fun-ass time. Thanks for doing it. Thanks for rapping. We'll see you next week.
I'm going to learn how to tap dance, and then I can just do that, too. And then I can be like...
That's what we need. We need old-timey acts.
Peace.